Alright, we're at the troubleshooting phase. So if you get stuck on something out at the campground or on the road, take a look at this. I've got it posted right here. And a couple things we're going to do. If you're having power issues, so the inside of the RV, the lights aren't working, the main thing you're going to look at is make sure this button is in the on position and you can see the lights come on and off. That puts power from the batteries, which are right below the step I'm on, and sends them to everything on the camper. So anything you use on the camper is going to be off those batteries, and that switch has to be on. For the TV reception, make sure the antenna above the front step, right here, is turned to the right spot. So you're going to see, you're going to rotate this to get TV reception, and you'll see that when you're looking for channels. There's an auto search feature on every TV. You just got to work your way through the menu to find that. If you have a dead battery from the chassis, so let's say you left the truck lights on, it's got its own battery there. If you have a dead battery, you're gonna have a button by the driver's seat. If you can see it, it's right down here, just by the step. You're gonna hold that button down while you turn the key onto the truck, and that'll be like getting a jump start from your camper batteries. The chair rotation. So if you want to use your chairs for use while you're camping, you just pull this lever. It pulls them out and then turns this, and then you can recline it back. So both the driver and the passenger can do that. If you pull this up, you can rotate it. So you have a nice additional seating area for the driver and passenger. When you put this back, make sure that you put it all the way back, rotate it, but then push this up at an angle by pulling the lever and pushing it back into the driver position, or you'll be a little bit off. For electrical issues, remember your dead battery switch. If you're not plugged into the campground or your generator's not working, then you're not going to be able to use your microwave. You're not going to be able to use your hair dryer, your toaster, your coffee maker. You need full power for those items. When you're just traveling and you're not hooked up, like we are now, you can run the batteries, you can run the fan, you can run the heater fan with propane for the heater. You don't need the generator, you don't need to be plugged in for that, but for everything else you do need to be plugged in. If you have power issues from there, the first thing you want to check is in the bathroom. And check to see if this GFI was flipped. And you'll see, you can hit the button here. That's the test and reset. You'll see that popped out. If the GFI is not the issue, you might have overpowered the system and hit the breakers. So behind the back bedroom, there's a breaker box. And just flip those breakers, make sure those are all to the right position. For any water issues, if you're not getting pressure to the faucets, like this, it would be because your water pump is off. So you'd go back here. If you're not hooked up to the campground, you turn your water pump on. That'll run the motor and pressurize your tanks, and you'll have constant water coming out of those. If you're hooked up to the campground spigot, and make sure that the spigot is open, that'll give you pressure into the RV. You make sure your water pump switch is off, otherwise they'll fight, and you just use the system that way. For the water heater, you have two options, remember. Remember that you can use your gas when you're out on the road, and that'll heat you up if you're camping overnight in a rest area or something and you're not hooked up to electric or your generator, you can gas it up, or you can, at the campground, you can just leave it on like that and you have hot water all the time. 6 gallons of hot water, depends how much you use, but a good shower, give it 15 minutes to heat back up and you should be good. If there's an emergency service, of course, call 911. If you've got your own auto insurance, call your auto insurance carrier for roadside assistance. If you've gotten the auto insurance through our carrier, MBA, they will find you roadside assistance. Otherwise, you just have to Google for help and get a mobile mechanic is what you want to really Google for if you can't get to them. Otherwise, look for a local dealer that might be able to take you in for your issue. But hopefully there's no issues. And that is your troubleshooting. Your main troubleshooting is to call Doug at myself at 414-331-8652. Try to work through it yourself. If you can't, give me a call, and if we can't get it, we'll figure it out.